Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy Great Zage here, and this is What If Belle Had Yami Sukehiro's Powers, Part 9. Hope y'all do enjoy the video, and either way, let's get started.
She gripping that dick like she was a lost star. She party at night like she was a rock star. She singing my song like Bella-di-da. She calling me daddy, but not a father. Little bit, little bit thirsty like big as some water. Could give you the world with the wave of a wand. We Philly, bitch, Cosmo and Wanda.
Alright, guys, let's go ahead and finally get started with this What If. By the way, sorry if you guys hear me move the mic sometimes when I'm recording. I'm still generally new to the whole idea of a mic and everything, so I'm right now trying to get better at using it. But hey, either way, let's go ahead and finally get started with this What If. So we've now started this What If with actually Belle, as it's now been a 2-month time skip since the event of the last part I left off. Now you see, for the reason of this is because the popularity of the Hestia Familia had skyrocketed to new levels that has never been seen before. Due to the power of Belle Crenel and due to the war games, Belle sort of increased the popularity of the Hestia Familia, as everyone is now thinking that the Hestia Familia is the reason why Belle is so strong. Now due to this, of course, Hestia got multiple members of the Familia to join. However, she kicked out some of them, considering the fact that some people joined the Hestia Familia to go ahead and literally trying to figure out a way to get stronger. Although yes, it's the job of a goddess to find out how to get her, per people stronger, it doesn't mean that you have to go ahead and demand for it, as that's what most people actually try to do. Due to this, you had to kick out a certain amount of people out of the Familia, but luckily there still had a large amount and still more people wanted to join. Now of course, since it's been a 2-month time skip, let me go ahead and get into the details of the characters here. Now Belle had once again grown even stronger, as Belle was now a very powerful level 6 adventurer. So ever since the war games, his level had increased even further, and due to him having 2 months of just training and leveling up, Belle had leveled up to level 6. Due to this, Belle also had learned multiple other spells, as well as Belle has he has sort of gained the title of leader in the Hestia Familia. As Belle seemed to, anything that Belle says, everyone seemed to listen, as whether it be cleaning up the kitchen or whether it be doing the laundry, Belle will go ahead and make people do it. Not because he's forcing them, it's because they just listen to this man. The only time Belle actually tries something scary or just, try doing something extremely dangerous is when, let's say, someone's trying to destroy the Familia home, or when someone's just causing trouble, which happens very little thanks to Belle's overwhelming pressure. Now, due to Belle being, Belle, there's also another thing that's been going on, as that was the gods and the goddesses. Multiple of them still protest of the idea that Hestia has the idea of Belle. They don't like the idea that Hestia has control over Belle, as some people actually try to get Belle on their side, some people try to kidnap him, some people try to seduce him, as Belle mostly of the time just ignored them, beat the crap out of them, or outright refused them. Literally, if someone tries to pull up and be all sadistic towards him, Belle would just go ahead and politely decline, saying that I'm not in the mood, or it's too early for stuff like that, or he would just go ahead and make up excuses saying that he does not want to do stuff like that. Now, it was not because Belle didn't have, he's not interested or anything. It's just the fact that he didn't have any time for that. He's not really interested into doing stuff like that. He's more focused on his goal, the grind, the time, the work, the money, all that stuff. As that's what my man was. He was an adventurer. Now, due to this, of course, the gods and the goddesses have been complaining, but most of the time, they always vote that Hestia should keep Belle, considering the fact that she was the first one to notice him. Now, we go ahead and now cut back to Belle, who's now currently just walking down the Hestia halls, as this is when he'll see a bunch of random adventurers about to go into a fight, as they were part with the Familia. Now, of course, seeing them, Belle will go ahead and get into a rage, as he would say, "I just mopped those floors," as he goes ahead and releases the purplish aura. "Hey, stop messing up with the floors, I just washed that. Do you have any idea how long that took for me to wash? Go ahead and clean that up right now." At this, of course, they would listen to Belle, as he was still releasing that purplish aura, which had gotten even stronger to the point where literally it literally feels like gravity is against you, as Belle actually accidentally smushed a monster to death with that. Of course, it was a weak one, but still. At this, instantly they'll go ahead and get a mop and broom, they'll get a bunch of stuff to clean up the floor, as Belle goes ahead and just walks off. At this, everyone will be laughing at the two adventurers' expense, considering the fact like, bro, that is funny as hell. As this is when suddenly Welt would then walk up to Belle. So, buddy, we're going back to the dungeons, he would say. At this, Belle goes ahead and shrugs. Well, it's not like there's anything else to do. As Belle really was just gonna go to the dungeons and once again push even further. As Belle has went ahead and actually he takes on Boss nearly like regularly. It wasn't even a challenge for him. At this is when Lily would go ahead and walk right beside them. Hey, don't forget to bring me along, she would say. As Welt and Lily have become Belle's best friends, as well as people who actually go ahead and just they're like in the second in command compared to Belle. Now, due to this is because they have been members of the Familia much longer than the others. So pretty much both Lily and Belle and pretty much Welt as well, all of them are like the leaders of it. Of course, Hestia is right now having fun as she was currently right now in the middle of the dining area, stuffing her face with food as she was so happy to be with the Familia. Now, of course, she would have seen Belle and his party walk away as she would then yell for Belle to come back, which Belle would do so. Yes, goddess. At this, she'll go ahead and once again rush over to Belle, giving him a hug, telling him to be careful, which Belle will go ahead and pat her on the head. Now, at this, I finally have a good way to sum up Hestia and Belle's relationship now. Unlike in canon, where she was like, oh, Belle this, Belle that, I would say that she's more like currently now, since Belle has went ahead and pretty much changed her entire life here. Belle has sort of transformed her Familia, and like, you know how all the stuff that Belle did, she sort of turned, like, she's now like a little sister to Belle. As soon as she goes ahead and waves goodbye, Belle will go ahead and dash off, as this is where Hestia would then return back to whatever the heck she was doing. By the way, let me just set this straight. She's one of those protective ones. So yeah. So while walking, of course, Belle would stop by at the tavern just to say hello, like a quick hello, to which the people at the tavern, mostly Seer, would go ahead and she'll be happy that Belle's there, giving him and his party some lunch, as well as giving Lily a small glare. Now, of course, there's been some people that have been trying to get with Belle, not just to try to seduce him, but mostly just really like get with the guy. And Seer was one of those people, as well as Lily, as they were both competing for him. But really, like, come on now, this is like basic MC things, so like, yeah, let's continue on. Now, of course, Belle has seen these type of things, but he didn't really care, or pretty much he didn't really know what it means. But he decided to ignore it most of the time, as he thought it like, oh, it's just girl things. So while they got their lunch, they'll go ahead and head to the dungeon. As soon as they do, Welt will go ahead and pull out a blade, as it was, he'll pull out his sword on his back, while Lily goes ahead and pulls out an arrow, while of course Belle will pull out the katana. Alright, take them down. As they will nod, as they will then go and rush up to the highest floor that they could possibly go, which wasn't really that high. I mean, like, it wasn't all the way at the end of the dungeon, but still. As soon as they go ahead and enter in there, Belle will go ahead and see a bunch of like these monsters and everything. As he then says, alright, looks like these guys are going to be a good warm-up. At this, Lily and Welt goes ahead and chuckles, as Belle always goes ahead and does this, as this was sort of Belle's warm-up. He will attract the attentions of multiple monsters, bring them all into sorry, damn, that food be hitting different though. He'll bring them all to one site, and instantly he will go ahead and begin to blitz through them, sort of similar to how Madara was, like, against the elemental nations. He'll pretty much do that with the monsters, except on a very smaller scale. At this, they'll go ahead and see Belle's warm-up, which was mostly him going ahead and refining his techniques by using them against these weak monsters, which the others would just sigh. I feel like Belle needs to go ahead and calm down, as they can't help but agree on this. Belle, although he is extremely strong and everything, he still likes to challenge himself, as that was one of the main things. As we go ahead and actually do a short time skip to when Belle was done with his warm-up, he'll go ahead and stretch out his muscles and everything, and says, alright, let's go to the room. At this, they will nod, as suddenly, we're once again doing a time skip, as we go ahead and now see that they had now arrived at the boss room. Now, this is going to be a random boss, by the way, because, there's not really many that I know of, so I'm really sorry, but hey, like I said, I'm trying my best with this what if. Now, of course, seeing the boss room, Belle will go ahead and instantly walk in there like it was nothing. As soon as he enters in there, he'll go ahead and see like this ginormous behemoth type monster, as him, Welt, and Lily were all facing off against it. Alright, let's take it down, he would say. At this, with all their weapons drawn, they will rush at the beast, as this is where we would just see them attack it all at once, taking it down. Not really that hard of a challenge. Like I said, Bell's been taking down monsters, like boss monsters, like they were nothing. Well, not like nothing, but he's been mostly taking them on. So by the time that Bell and the rest of them were done taking on these monsters, Bell was just, relaxing now. And he says, well, it looks like we got another bag of money and everything. Man, I wish we could do more, he would say, as he truly wished that thing put up more of a fight, but then again, hey, it was still a good fight. At this, they will nod as they go ahead, and actually they gotten stronger ever since hanging out with Belle, and by that I'm talking about Lily and Wealth, as Lily had gone even faster and even stronger, as well as Belle had helped her with her magical control, allowing her to somehow push her muscles and pushing her reflexes so that way she could react faster, as well as gone even faster. So with Wealth, he actually goes ahead and actually helps Wealth, as he actually began to him and Wealth are making a breakthrough and actually making magic swords, but not the ones that are instantly destroyed after you use it one time. They're really making magic swords, the ones that last for very long periods of time, which Wealth was actually happy with such weapons. However, he promised to only use it for those in the Familia. As for others, he was not going to sell them to them, considering the fact that others will probably use it for their own greedy uses, which Belle would nod to. So pretty much the group has been getting along, had gotten stronger. So by the time they were done with the dungeon and everything, Belle would suggest that they go home, which they would do so, as when they're actually walking home, they would have to take a detour, which Belle had actually gone ahead, and he actually never been here before, which was crazy. Guys, where are we? At this, Lily would go ahead and slap Wealth on the face. You idiot, what do you think bringing Belle here, she would say. At this, Wealth goes ahead and looks at her. I'm sorry. Now, they were currently now in the red light district, as right now they were in an area full of perfume, smells of, and multiple other things. Now, Belle being here, he's just so confused, as he goes ahead and covers his nose. Yeah, this order is foul. I want to get out of here, he would say. At this, Lily goes ahead and begins to shout at Wealth, completely ignoring Belle right now. It's completely right now she's just so enraged, as they need to find their way out of here fast. However, this is when suddenly Belle will go ahead and actually then be dragged into an alleyway, as she would then be surrounded by multiple women. Now, of course, seeing this, Belle was like, oh crap, as he could already tell that this was another attempt that they always do, as once again the woman would try doing something similar to that. However, Belle would just decline them politely, saying sorry, but I'm not interested into anyone right now, so please forgive me. Of course, hearing this, the woman will be upset. However, they will always tell Belle that he's welcome back to visit, which Belle will go ahead and say sure. Yeah, he was never visiting again. So with that, Belle goes ahead and actually walks back out of the alley, only to see Wealth and Lily were gone. Son of a... So we go ahead and... Okay. I was trying to make a joke on that one, I'm sorry. But pretty much Belle just looks around, he's like, oh, I guess they're not here. So he begins to walk around the red light district, trying to find out anything. Now, while walking around, Belle will go ahead and he'll actually see something that's been really odd. As each corner that he takes, each area he goes, he will see these he will see Amazonians surrounding him, sort of. He would see ones in alleys, ones on roof. It was odd, as Belle had a very bad feeling about this. So we now go ahead and cut scenes to a certain location, as this is when suddenly we'll then see one member of the Amazonians go ahead and enter the room. My goddess, it seems like the white wolf has entered our den, she would say. At this, hearing this, the goddess will go ahead and crack a grin. Finally, he'll be mine. I want every last one of you to bring him to me now, she would say. At this, said member will go ahead and nod at her goddess request and dash off to go ahead and alert the others. Now at this, you would then go ahead and see as said goddess would then turn around. I'll have you soon, Belle Cornell. Now this was the goddess Ishtar, also the one who's controls of the red light district pretty much. Now she has been after Belle Cornell just like many other goddesses and gods. However, the difference between her and the others was that she actually had a better idea. Now, at first, she was planning on trying to seduce him like the others, but this time she was going to do a different approach at it. She was gonna wait until Belle Cornell sets foot in her den, her area, her territory. As here she had the full advantage, the full playthrough, as she knew that she would get Belle Cornell tonight, as she was gonna use everything to her advantage to make sure that she does. Now, of course, due to this, she'll go ahead and crack a grin, just waiting for Belle to appear, as she can't wait to add this new powerful member to her familia. So we go ahead and now cut back to Belle, as he was now just currently wandering about, as he was finally getting tired of this. Multiple people had tried to seduce him, but he had just, outright just, told them no, or outright ignored them, as he was getting into, really, frustrated. How big is this area? Jeez. But this one suddenly, falling from the sky will be two individuals, as Belle will go ahead and look at them. He had already read their key and already could tell that they were coming, but now this time their keys seem a little bit hostile. Of course, Belle will go ahead and get on guard, but not really showing it, as this is when one of them would speak. Belle Cornell, I believe it's time for you to come with us. Our goddess would like to have a word with you. Of course, hearing this, Belle goes ahead and looks at her. Sorry, but I'm not interested in going with your goddess. In fact, I have to go meet mine tonight. You see, it's already past my curfew, so I have to return home, he would say, in a very sarcastic tone. Of course, hearing this, the Amazonians get a little bit upset, as one of them would speak up. Don't act all foolish now. You're coming with us. At this, Belle goes ahead and looks at her. Sorry, but like I said, probably shouldn't be talking to you. Better go home. At this is when one of them would then pull out a dagger, as the other one then pull out a sword. I don't think you heard us. You are coming with us. At this, Belle, now seeing that he was surrounded and was now about to fight them, goes ahead and shrugs. Alright, well, let's see if you can actually back up those words of yours. As just like that, Belle will go ahead and vanish right before their eyes, shocking the both, as they would then see Belle literally jump over them and jump on top of a roof. Come and get me, he would say, as he goes ahead and dashes off. At this, the others would then scream, he's on the move, catch the white wolf, she would say, as she goes ahead and dashes off, looking after Belle. Now, Belle was now running through the red light district, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, as he was evading a bunch of Amazonians that seemed to be hungry for him, or just trying to outright get him. Now, of course, Belle was so confused, but he already heard that apparently the guys wanted him, and just like many others, he could already guess where that attempt is going. Yeah, I'm not going for that, he would say. As he goes ahead and jumps, through rooftop to rooftop, he would go ahead and actually eventually see that a bunch of them were crowding around. As he then says, you know what, better find a place to hide. Running around would just be wasting a bunch of effort. So of course, Belle will go ahead and jump into again, that food be hitting different. Belle will go ahead and jump through an alleyway, as soon as he does, you actually see a red door. Wait, what the? At this, Belle will go ahead and just enter the door, expecting a hiding place, only to see this weird little, well, not little, but this weird fox woman who had 2 ears, blonde hair, and green eyes. Hi, said Belle. At this, said woman will go ahead and look at Belle, as she will then go ahead and just, say hello back, as Belle will go ahead and actually sit down. Sorry for intruding, I just need a place to hide for a little bit. Of course, her hearing this would just nod, as she was actually surprised at this. She was just on her break relaxing, only for Belle to sweep in. At this, she would then go ahead and turn to Belle. Sorry, but may I ask, what are you doing here and what's your name? At this, Belle will go ahead and turn to her. Oh, my name is Belle Cornell, nice to meet you. At this, hearing the name of the famous adventurer, Belle Cornell, of course, said woman will go ahead and gasp. You're the Belle Cornell? You're very famous and everything. I'm honored to be in your presence. Of course, hearing this, Belle just shrugs. Don't worry about it. I'm not anyone important. I'm just a regular adventurer. Just nothing special. Which Belle fully agreed. He was nothing special, bro. He was just an adventurer, and that was it. At this, said woman just looks at Belle surprised, considering the fact that most guys would go ahead and brag about such things. At this, she will go ahead and actually look at Belle, until finally asking what was going on, to which Belle will go ahead and explain. Oh, nothing much, just this weird group of Amazonians are asking for me to go ahead and go to their goddess, even if it meant by taking me by force. Of course, hearing this, she would actually go ahead and gasp, as she would then say, excuse me, but did you say Amazonians? At this, Belle would nod, as this is when she would then say that you are in an entire Familia's pretty much territory. At this, Belle would just look at her. Wait, what? At this, she would nod. She then explains to Belle that this was a Familia territory, and this whole entire like red light district is run by one goddess, the goddess Ishtar. Now, of course, hearing the goddess name, Belle will go ahead and ask, like, who is she and everything, to which the woman will go ahead and nod. However, she'll explain not really much detail, saying that she was gorgeous and she had a look that make the other women jealous. She'll also begin to explain other things about her, causing Belle to just nod, like he was not really like, like, oh wow, like, yeah, I guess she's beautiful and everything, but like, bro, I'm mostly focused on my grind. So of course, while this is happening, she'll go ahead and tell Belle that he must be very lucky to have such a goddess go after him, which Belle will go ahead and shrug. Nope, that is not luck. In fact, all I'm doing is trying to go ahead and return back home. I already had a long adventure early today, and I'm just trying to return back home. At this, hearing the word home will cause the woman to go ahead and actually look down. Home, huh? I wish I could do the same. At this, Belle will go ahead and look at her, as by reading her key, he's able to tell that she's been really upset. You want to go ahead and tell me something? It's better to tell something now than to just boil it all in and hide it away. Trust me, it's like a dam that you need to burst. At this, she will look at Belle, as she would then chuckle at the metaphor that he was making, and she would then say, sure. So at this, we go ahead and actually begin to hear the story of this woman fox girl. So with that, we go ahead and finally find out about this woman's name, as her name was Haruhime. So apparently she sort of wound up here after some tragedy struck her village, and pretty much she ended up joining this Familia. Due to this, she had been going ahead and working to do a very stuff like that to men and stuff like that, as she actually had to be put to work here. Now, of course, after hearing this, Belle can obviously tell one thing. One, she was innocent. Like, she was innocent as she could be. And two, she'd never really done it. Now, the reason for this is because, one, Belle doesn't smell the same smell just like the other woman, as he could tell when a woman has actually done it and has actually not. As whenever they're actually in, let's say, some sort of version of a heat, he's able to tell from the different smells that go around. And she's been pure innocent. As if he were to guess, either one, the guys actually had consciousness and they don't want to do it, or two, she was passed out, knocked out, and the guys didn't even get to have any fun. So it must be that option. So at this, Belle goes ahead and shrugs it off and says, well, do you want me to bust you out? He would say. Like, literally out of nowhere, he would say this. Of course, at this, Haruhime will actually go ahead and look at him, and she wouldn't say, do you even have any idea what you're saying? At this, Belle will go ahead and nod. Yeah, I know, but like, hey, I'm here now, and I wouldn't mind, really. Consider this a favor for allowing me to crash here, he would say. At this, she goes ahead and looks at Belle in shock, as she then says, yo, you don't have to do something like that. But Belle goes ahead and shrugs. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. At this, she looks at Belle in surprise, as she then says, but I told you. At this, Belle goes ahead and looks at her. It's not what you told me, it's what I want to do. At this, she goes ahead and looks at Belle, as he then leaves the thing, as he was now planning to actually set her free. Like a shadow is supposed to do. So we now see as Belle walks out of the alleyway, he will then be surrounded by all fronts by Amazonians. Alright, listen up, Belle Cornell. We had enough of your little, hide and seek. It's time for you to come with us. At this, Belle seeing himself surrounded by women. However, he was not in the mood, as he goes ahead and erupts a purplish aura. Fine, take me to your goddess, he would say. As all the Amazonians were actually afraid of Belle now, as the aura that he was expelling was intense, as some of them actually began to fall unconscious from it. After Belle had released the aura, he was then taken into custody and now was being brought to their goddess, as this is where we're going to do a timescape, or I guess you could say a change of scenes. So we now go ahead and change scenes to when Belle is actually going ahead and actually arrive here at Ishtar's, palace. Now as soon as he walks in, he would see it full with women, as they were all looking at Belle as if he were a piece of candy or meat, as Belle goes ahead and remains with his serious calm expression. At this when suddenly one woman would go ahead and walk up, as one, she was abnormally larger than the others, as well as she had a look similar to that of a frog. Wow, who's this? She was, oh my god, I cannot do the voice. Now, if you guys don't know who this is, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it, but I just know that she was like first of all, I knew one, she was the largest of all of them. 2, she had that look of a frog, and 3, she was into torture and stuff. So yeah, that's the one I was talking about. If you guys, I don't know the name, if someone can remind me of the name, type it down in the comments, please. But either way, let me continue on. So at this, she goes ahead and speaks. My, who is this? If you wouldn't mind, why don't I go ahead and take him, she would say. She was actually now looking at Belle and actually planning on taking him for her playful time, she would say. At this, the others would go ahead and instantly get on guard. No, you will not have him. Cause 1, each man that you even go ahead and try to use your little plaything on, they ended up dying. And 2, he's here for the goddess. At this, hearing this, the woman will go ahead and be upset. But this is when she then says, fine. But if the goddess is not enough, then I know for sure he will come to me, she would say. As she goes ahead and licks her lips, which causes Belle to actually be a bit unnerved, but he still remained himself. If she even tries to touch me, I'll cut her up to pieces. As Belle was not gonna lie, she was freaking him out. But hey, heck, what's the most abnormal thing that you can find in this place? It will probably be her. So with that, Belle goes ahead and waits there for their goddess. As when he does, he would then see a beautiful woman walk down the stairs. Well, it looks like you finally arrived, she would say. At this, Belle would look at this woman, as he could already tell that this woman had this arrogance around her. Now, of course, seeing this arrogance, Belle just goes ahead and just, looks at it as he wonders, are everyone he encountered arrogant? Each time he encounters a foe or someone to fight, he's always arrogant in their abilities, but really, they're not really shit. So he was wondering, is this goddess not really up to snuff? So while Belle was actually thinking this, the goddess was actually checking Belle out, as she had to admit he truly was worthy of the title of the White Wolf, and she can't wait to see what he's made of. At this is when she tries to do her seduce attempt, as she begins to go ahead and actually take off her clothes and everything. I don't really like to explain stuff like this. If you guys watch the anime, you know what scene I'm talking about. So at this, Belle will go ahead and look at her. She then says, nope. At this, right when she was in the middle of it, she will go ahead and say, wait, what? At this, Belle goes ahead and looks at her. I'm not here for you to go ahead and try to do stuff like this to me. I'm here for you to go ahead and release my new friend I made. Haruhime, he would say. At this, hearing the name of said girl, she'll go ahead and look at him. Oh, you're after her, huh? I'm sorry, but you were not going to get her. And besides, what makes you think you're not going to go ahead and join my family either way? At this, after she had finally taken off everything, she goes ahead and tries to seduce Belle, but it's not working whatsoever. Belle is standing strong, and this man is not even getting a reaction whatsoever, as Belle is purely focused on trying to get his friend back. Plus, like I said, Belle's not really interested in stuff like that. He's mostly interested in getting stronger right now, or just trying to get into adventures. Because, my man Belle is not a simp whatsoever. So Belle will go ahead and completely remain neutral, as after a while trying to seduce Belle, the goddess will be extremely upset. Why am I not getting a reaction from you? You should be falling for my charms instantly. At this, Belle goes ahead and looks at her. Trust me, woman, you're not the first one to try to do this to me. And second of all, right now, I'm not really interested in doing stuff like that. Again, I apologize, but I'm mostly focused on my goal and in my journeys. At this, of course, hearing this, the goddess goes ahead and gets upset. She then says, but don't you think that's all boring? I mean, you would have more fun and more adventures with me. At this, Belle goes ahead and completely ignores her. Athena says once again to release his friend Haruhime. At this, hearing said girl's name, she will get upset. Well then, if you're not falling for this, then I'll guess I accept you on that challenge, she would say. At this, Belle will go ahead and nod. However, this is when she then goes ahead and actually speaks up. However, in order for you to do this, 1, you might have to fight barehanded, plus I gain the advantage, she would say, as she obviously knew that Belle wouldn't accept this. However, this one suddenly she would then say, deal. At this, she'll go ahead and actually gasp, wait, what? As she goes ahead and looks at Belle, she will see nothing but pure conviction in Belle's eyes. He was not playing. He was here to win. Of course, hearing this, she'll go ahead and actually backpedal a little bit. But, at this, she then goes ahead and gets angry. Fine, then let's do it. At this, we go ahead and now do a change of scenes, as this is when something we're in a sort of like you can say like a gladiator arena, as right now in the center of it will be none other than Belle Cornell, as he had not only his katana was no more, and all he had was his bare hands. Now at this, Bell goes ahead and was now looking up at the challenge, as suddenly he would then be faced against actually their strongest Amazonian, as they were right now there, as finally right behind her would be none other than Haruhime herself. Bell? She would say, as she was completely in shock at seeing said man that she met earlier today. At this, Bell goes ahead and looks at her. Oh, hey, Haruhime. Look, don't worry about it. Don't hold back either. I'm ready, he would say. At this, she goes ahead and looks at Bell surprised that she can't believe it. He doesn't even know her ability. Wait, Bell, you don't understand. But Bell just cuts her off. Trust me. At this, she goes ahead and looks at Bell, then gulps, as she would then nod. As suddenly, everyone, or at least most of the Amazonians, were here to watch the fight, as they can't wait to see how good is this white wolf. As all of them were right now like looking at it in excitement, this is when suddenly Bell will go ahead and then get into a stance of fighting, as he had his fist draw back as well as a hand in the front. As he goes ahead and controls his breathing, said woman would actually be the same one like they did in canon. Now I'm gonna actually make this is where the story actually changes differently if you guys haven't told. But in this one right now, like, the person that he's fighting would not other than be, well, the very same woman that beat him up. Well, at least in canon, in the dungeon, the same one that kidnapped him. I don't know her name. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's the same woman. At this, she goes ahead and looks at him. So, you're gonna go ahead and be the one to fight me, she would say. At this, Bell goes ahead and nods, as she then chuckles. Alright, then I hope you're prepared to surrender yourself to Lady Ishtar, she would say, as she would then get into her fighting stance. Although on the outside she was showing like a bunch of confidence and aura, on the inside she was panicking. She was gonna be facing one of the strongest people to ever walk the earth right now. As Bell Cornell, like, some people are really considering that like Bell is actually like one of the strongest people that you could ever encounter. He was a level 6 adventurer, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, currently it's pretty rare to be level 6, as most people are like level 4 or like level 5. Like that's the thing that most people reach. But level 6, like, now that was a different level. As she was now like sweating bullets, Bell was actually like three times her three times her level, as she was only a slowly level 2 adventurer. So that meant that Bell was like literally like 3 times her level, which, yeah, that is extremely bad odds. As Bell was looking at her, he would go ahead and say, "Don't hesitate." As she was actually surprised that Bell could actually hear, or like he could sense, the pure hesitation in her voice, or just in her mind. You have no idea what you're even talking about. As she goes ahead and prepares to fight, Haruhime will go ahead and cast her spell, increasing her strength and speed. I won't let you get her. At this, both of them would then stare off at each other, as this was gonna be the fight. Now, this is where actually I'm gonna go ahead and end this part to this what if. I know what, dude, you just got back on YouTube and everything. Like, no, guys, I'm still gonna be posting, just like not right now. By the way, for those who are wondering on Great Zay's, like, yo, when are you posting the what if Naruto left the village instead of Sasuke? Yeah, I will be posting that real soon, if I could just find a date to finish up, just to go ahead and post the video. Another thing is, I finally finished the script, finally, after so long. So yeah, finally things are gonna go ahead and be posted. So yeah, by the way, guys, just to let you guys know, I'm returning back to the Great Zay's channel. So yeah, make sure to go ahead and watch my videos, bro. I'm coming back. Like, come on now. Y'all thought I was gonna leave forever? No. So either way, I hope y'all do enjoy my videos, and